Lithuania.
Alright, what's going on, man? It's your boy Clough, and I'm back with another video, man. Looking for my stars where I'm not going nowhere. Look. Alright, so if you frequent my channel, you know typically my videos drop on Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time. So the fact that you're seeing this video today is definitely out of the ordinary. But yesterday I was scrolling on Twitter and I just so happened to come across this tweet right here. And before I go any further, I have to give a little bit more context. So I would say prior to me graduating college, I graduated college 2019 in the fall. Prior to me graduating, I would say I cared about how I looked and how I dressed, but I necessarily didn't care about the brand or the designer at all. And it wasn't until I graduated college and I got a little bit more into fashion, I started posting fashion content online, that I started looking into designers and looking at different brands. And I just so happened to stumble across Issey Miyake on the Essence website. And as I'm scrolling through this collection, I'm just like, that piece is crazy. This piece is crazy. And I just found myself just looking at all this stuff and I was like, yo, this stuff is dope as hell. But you gotta understand, like, prior to learning about Essence or just Issey Miyake in general, like, I thought like Urban Outfitters, PacSun, H&M, Hollister, and like all these other brands that's like within the mall that you can find anywhere across America, I thought that was like premium fashion. So to come over to Essence and I start seeing brands like Issey Miyake, I'm just like, I can't comprehend it because I'm like, this is way more intricate, this is way more detailed than I'm typically used to. So since getting hip to the brand back in 2020, I feel like Issey Miyake has definitely moved into my top 5 brands of all time. So I'm talking like Issey Miyake, I like Yoji, I like Undercover, I like Bodhi, I like Denim Tears. And I wouldn't say these are the brands that's doing the best of the best work out there. I just feel like whenever I go shopping for Denim Tears or whenever I go shopping for Issey Miyake, I can always find something that I can gravitate to. I can't necessarily say that for a lot of designers and a lot of brands. And that's really all the context that I want to provide because that is how we ended up with this video today. So when I saw something about Issey Miyake that I didn't know, I just went to Google. I went straight to Google after reading that tweet and I was like, I need to figure out what happened during the 1992 Olympics. How did Issey Miyake link up with Lithuania, the country, to make this collection? But before getting to that, we actually have to talk about the country of Lithuania. And my ego and my pride isn't so big. I definitely didn't know where Lithuania was before this day, so let me not act like that. But I definitely did some research, so let me just read this excerpt that I found online about Lithuania. And honestly, I just hope I'm pronouncing that right. Lithuania, country of northeastern Europe, the southernmost and largest of the 3 Baltic states. Lithuania was a powerful empire that dominated much of Eastern Europe in the 14th and 16th centuries before becoming part of the Polish-Lithuania Confederation for the next 2 centuries. Aside from the brief period of independence from 1918 to 1940, Lithuania was occupied by Russia beginning in 1795, was controlled by Germany for a brief period during World War II, and was incorporated into the USSR in 1944 as one of its constituent republic. On March 11, 1990, Lithuania declared its independence by a unanimous vote of its newly elected parliament. The new Soviet parliament acknowledged Lithuania's independence on September 6, 1991. Lithuania was admitted into the EU and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization in 2004. Now, this information is important because prior to 1992, Lithuania has not been able to represent their country, represent their culture, also bear their flag in the Olympic Games since 1928. That is a 64-year gap since they've been able to bear their flag, represent their people in the Olympic Games as themselves. And I definitely think that adds to the overall story. Issey Miyake teaming up with Lithuania, making their opening ceremony attire, this being their first time back in over 60 years. Now, if you're anything like me, after seeing this initial tweet, I was like, okay, this is really good stuff. Because not only is it a designer that I really like his work, I mean, I really like his work, it is also the Olympic Games, and the Olympic Games are currently happening in Paris. And I also just find it so interesting how like fashion and sports kind of always intersect in some way, no matter what country it is or, you know, what sport it is. Fashion always intersects in some way. And ultimately, I feel like that's why I made this video, because the Olympic Games are currently happening. So this topic is very relevant. But then also, Issey Miyake passed August 5th of 2022. So it just made the anniversary of his death 2 days ago. And I was like, okay, like, let me see what this is about. Now, we all have this person right here to thank for why Issey Miyake decided to design the opening ceremony attire for Team Lithuania. Dr. Edward Deminsky, and I really hope I'm saying that correctly. Now, Dr. Deminsky served as Team Lithuania's physician, but also their spokesperson. Now, just being a fan of his work, that is the main reason that he reached out. I really wish I could have found like what was in the letter. How did he compel him to like want to do it? Why did he take that step? But I feel like ultimately it came down to Lithuania actually regaining their independence, and this being the first time that they're going to be representing at the Olympic Games. I feel like that would make a lot of people want to be like I'm all for that. And I think the best little nugget that I got from this entire story, other than just it being Issey Miyake in the Olympic Games, is the fact that in the article it said that he did it free of charge, bro. That is crazy. I think that's super dope. Not only for like, you know, his own personal brand, but also like looking out for a country that just got its independence and then supporting them in the Olympic Games. Like that is just, I don't know, that's just fire. In an article that I found online, he opens up about how he approached this project. This being the first time that he was designing for the Olympics, and also taking into the fact that different athletes come in different sizes. He was conflicted on how he would approach this. But I think what he said was super dope. He said, when I think about what clothes should be in the future, I think that sportwear is the most innovative and diverse. It focuses on the fresh sensation of function, color, material, etc. I want to gaze at the 21st century through the sportswear, now that people around the world can watch a variety of sports through television. I feel like this may be my own personal opinion, but a lot of the pleats that I've owned, I have a vest, are classified as a shirt. I've had 2 pairs of pants from Issey Miyake. Like, I feel like that brand is literally the perfect brand to mesh with athletic wear because it's so breathable, it's so functional. And I feel like when I saw Issey Miyake and I saw Olympics, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like, literally just because of the items I've owned, I feel like it more fits into like that athleisure wear, but like obviously a really high tier of athleisure wear. Honestly, just looking at the opening ceremony and how they rocked it and how it looked, like everything just like, bro, I would rock this jacket. I would rock the whole ensemble, bro. I would go full on Lithuanian. Is it Lithuanian or is it Lithuanian? I don't know. But I would go full-blown Lithuanian, bro, if I had this. I would be rocking that country to the fullest if I had this entire ensemble. Even though he designed this for their country, it also still has the essence of like a Japanese kimono. All in all, I think it's just really dope. Like, I went from just scrolling on Twitter casually, seeing this post, doing a deep dive on it, and then making a video about it. He really must have liked the work that he did for Team Lithuania, because he went on to do a full-blown collection representing different countries. I know there was a Germany one, a Brazil one, but just representing other countries, but with the same aesthetic that he did for Team Lithuania. And I was just like just looking at these things, bro, just look at them. Like, it's a really mesmerizing collection just because like you don't see things like this. Like, and for him to be doing this in the 90s, in the 80s, and how early on that he started in his career doing things like this, like, you really can't deny him as like one of the greatest designers of this decade, or of this time. Yeah, of this time. But that is gonna wrap up this video. Again, I just thought this was a dope story. There may be more pieces to it. There may be more history that I missed out on. So let me know in the comments if you know more about this. But I just thought it was a dope story. Like, Dr. Deminsky, being the physician for the team and the spokesperson, reached out to him to see if he can commission the attire for the team. And then Issey just being like, oh yeah, I'm down for that, but also I'm gonna do it free of charge. And then just like it turning into his own collection representing different countries. Like, I just think that story was dope, and I just wanted to make a video on that. And also, if anyone is aware of another story like this, please let me know in the comments or on Instagram, because I really want to learn more about the intersection of fashion and athletics, just because like I'm not a big sports guy, I'm not a big athletic guy, so I just like those kind of stories are kind of lost to me. Let me know in the comments if you know more stories like this. But without further ado, like I always do, I'll catch you in the next one. This has nothing to do with Issey Miyake, Team Lithuania, or Dr. Deminsky at all. But I thought it was dope just learning about the '92 Olympics. This was also the year that NBA players were able to play for Team USA in the Olympics. Like, prior to this, there were rules stopping professional basketball players to play on the US team for the Olympics. So before that, it was just amateurs. But then through a loophole or through something, they were able to be like, no, like, you guys could bring this team on. And they had people like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Isaiah Thomas, Just like the biggest, Larry Bird, I want to say, like just the biggest names there are when it comes to basketball are like the most talked about players. Like I was like, oh, that's a crazy story, just being attached to this in some degree. But yeah.
But I love the way you work it. Ay, I love the way you work it for